Hey, what's up? It's Friday and I'm Adrian. So we're talking about dating as a trans person. And um, first of all, I think the things that make dating in general and the keys to like being in healthy, happy relationships are, just as important and the same principles basically depending on whether you're cis or trans. Um, but these are like specifically instances you come across as a trans person, as far as like what I can think of. And coming out in dating shouldn't be any different than coming out any other time. Is it should be you only have to come out when you choose to, if you're comfortable with it. And obviously if you're going to engage in sexual relations with that person, and they need to know what you're working with. But other than that, if you're not comfortable with it, you don't need to tell them right away. If someone is interested in you, and then finding out that you're trans makes them uninterested in you, um, because they see you as a guy, but you're a trans guy, um, and if you're not like a guy, and they want guys, like they're transphobic. That's stupid. It'll often be passed off as preference, and like that's just it's bull. If you can get someone who thinks that to understand that that's not a preference, their perception of what the male body should look like is incorrect, and you're a guy just as much as a cis guy is. Um, and anything they if they think anything other than that, then that's transphobic. If they don't agree or they just still pass it off, then you just that's not something you should pursue. Um, what falls into this is you don't need to be bi to date a trans person. Um, some people might try to argue that, as if you aren't 100% your gender, but you are, and that's just stupid. After that, uh, this is something again. Being in a relationship, whether you're cis or trans, is important. Is being with someone who can respect you as who you are and allow you to be who you are and grow as that. As a trans person, we'll come across people who will flat out see us not as our gender at all, and just we need to ignore them and um, not pursue them at all because we can find better. Sometimes we'll find people who are upfront okay. They use their pronouns and say they're understanding, say things like that. But then later on, through interacting with them, you might find out that they see you as sort of like a girl guy or a guy girl or something like that. They don't see you as who you are. They don't respect you, and you can do so much better than that. Another thing is communication. This is really, really important again in any relationship, but as a trans person, first off, we experience dysphoria, and like sometimes there are things that we can't do, or sometimes we just can't do anything, um, depending on how you're feeling or what you're dealing with. And when you're involved with someone, you're in a relationship. Like my girlfriend, we talk about um, things. Like I let her know when I'm not feeling good. I let her know if I can't talk about it, or if I can talk about it later. She always she's great actually. She helps me feel more validated, and she helps me validate myself. And that's something you need to find. Is you need to find someone who can. Uh, you need to find someone. Sorry, who can allow you to be yourself and remind you of who you are sometimes if you lose yourself. And that's really important on days when you're feeling really dysphoric. The other thing is things that you're just okay with in general, like touching, kissing, where things are okay for you, whether you feel dysphoric about certain areas. That's just really important, again, in any relationship, for you to be able to communicate with someone, or if something happens or if something's brought up and all of a sudden you're hit with like a wave of dysphoria, and you don't think that you can continue, like it's important for you to be with someone where you can tell them that, and you need to be able to communicate that when you need to, like when it comes up, like you need to communicate what's going on and how you're feeling, however you can. When someone tells you that you need to hit some kind of milestone before they see you as your gender, and this can actually happen from trans people. Unfortunately, there are trans people who have underlying transphobia that they don't even realize, that they feel like there is a certain point or there's a certain milestone you have to pass in which you become that certain gender that you identify as, and that's untrue. And if you, whether you're in a relationship with a cis person who thinks something like that or a trans person who thinks something like that, you should know that you're 100% you, and there's no point in which you have to pass in order to be who you are. And your partner doesn't dictate who you are at all. Your partner should be there to nourish a relationship with you and grow with you, but they don't create you and they don't dictate or tell you when you become who you are. No one does that. So that's just a really important thing to remember. Other than that, if you're in a relationship or you're pursuing someone or you're involved with someone who doesn't see you as who you are, is transphobic, doesn't respect, things that you're not okay with, other things like that, it's easier said than done, but I hope that you can get out of that situation, because I know that there's people out there that will see you 100% as who you are and allow you to be that and grow and love yourself and love them and love you. I hope you can find that instead of what you're currently experiencing. That being said, I'll see you guys next week, and yeah,